I think the community demands transparency. I mean, they're not going to let us not be transparent, which we're going to be anyway. I mean, I'm a firm believer and committed to transparency because you have nothing to hide. If you're doing the work the right way, for the right reasons, you're going to have a lot of good things that are going to happen, and occasionally there are going to be some things that will be scary. But if you're doing the work in the right way, for the right reasons, there's no need to not be transparent. Transparency is mandatory. I think that makes us stronger. It gives us greater credibility as a local government. The more transparent that we are, the more communicative that we might be, and the more honest we are, it makes us a stronger local government. It gives us greater credibility.
What is the first thing that you'd like to improve if you obtain the position of city manager?
Again, I want to make certain that as a local government organization and operation that we're doing what we're supposed to do, that we are delivering and meeting the public's expectations in terms of how we do the work that we do, customer service, and that we are giving the public value for the money that it's spending. The public pays for all this stuff. Okay, so we have a commitment and an obligation to operate at a very high level professionally and from a competent standpoint in terms of delivering service. You've got 325,000 people here. To me, there are 325,000 shareholders. So that's how I look at it. And the thing about being a city manager, it's like I'm seeing my shareholders on a regular daily basis when I walk down the street. And they're going to tell me whether they're happy and satisfied or not. I mean, is that right, Chief? Right. So transparency, customer service. All my life, being the best is very important to me. Anybody can be average and ordinary. I've never wanted to be average and ordinary. I want to be the best. So if I'm going to be affiliated with an organization, the organization is going to have to be the best. And we're going to do the things that are necessary that make us the best.
Awesome, I like that. I want to be the best. That sounds great. What can a city manager do to attract new businesses to the city?
Again, one of the first things that I tell people about economic development and getting people to want to spend money in your community is you start with the local government first. If people believe that the local government is professional, competent, reliable, consistent, they're going to want to be in your community. They're going to want to spend money in your community. So that's step one. Step two is just basically creating an environment that's conducive to the type of growth and development that's important to the city. It's important for the city to determine what kind of growth and development that it wants, and then develop the strategies and plans to get there. Or for us as staff to execute those plans and strategies to help realize whatever the vision is.
Next question. Corpus Christi doesn't exactly have a city center. What would you do to create more community? Would that be in the downtown location, or what approach do you have to that?
I think the focus is on the total city. Obviously, the trend today is people are moving back downtown, which is a good thing. So you want to develop and look at your downtown from more so a community cohesion perspective. Doing things that strengthen the community. You've got X number of neighborhoods and communities within the city. I'm quite sure each one of them is developed from a network organizational standpoint, varying degrees. So how as a city government can we help to sort of strengthen their capacity? How can we go about strengthening overall social cohesion? Again, to give you an example, and it doesn't necessarily cost a lot of money, something that I was able to do in Cincinnati was created something called the Cincy Neighborhood Games. we took the Olympic concept, and we had 52 neighborhoods in the city, and we created an Olympic sort of model where they would compete against each other. We would have an opening ceremony, closing ceremony, everybody marches in with their neighborhood flag, and they would compete in board games, they would compete in badminton, and other things. The key is to pull people together and to have some sort of common connection. And it didn't cost a lot of money. And people had a lot of fun. So we had participation from all 52 neighborhoods. And so the idea is to do things that strengthen the community through, the whole cohesion process.
That's exciting. I think we have a couple of team neighborhood captains in the audience. I volunteer also.
Okay.
Yeah. That
Excellent.
sounds like
Yeah.
super.
Something that cost me $10,000, we got the entire city to participate.
Wow.
And everybody had fun.
So you kind of answered this now already, but how does a city leader motivate a mostly unmotivated population?
I think you've got to operate in a way where you are kind of forcing their involvement in the process, giving them something to get excited about. It's their community. They have a right and responsibility to be full participants in that process. So we just have to be creative. Again, the Cincy neighborhood games, this low dollar, creative way to pull people together, get people excited, and working together. So just thinking outside of the box, and it could be as simple as just asking them to participate. I don't know. Maybe they've not been engaged in the right way.
Great. And how would you, kind of expanding on that, what would you do as a city manager to improve youth engagement and additionally youth engagement in our city government?
I think there's a lot that we need to do today in terms of spending time and resources on our youth. Like when many of us were coming up, there were a lot of things for us to do. Rec centers were different than what they are today. You had outside baseball diamonds, basketball courts, you had rec centers with certain kinds of programming. Through the decades, because of scarce resources, we've gotten away from a lot of that. So the idea is to, as we do community engagement in general, we try to do it in such a way where we're also capturing our young people as well as their parents. I think I'm quite sure that our police department here is involved in a lot of community policing activities. Big part is youth, most likely. And so it's just building on all of those kinds of things and being creative and just paying attention to our youth, letting them know that we care. What I've learned about young people in general, I think they just really want to know that somebody cares about them, number one. And that goes a long ways in really helping to get them on the right track. Not that they're bad kids, but, in terms of helping them in terms of their overall growth and development, we want them to be successful, but we also want them to be good citizens. But they need to be involved with us to see it, because we model it every day. We need them to see it, to know what it looks like.
Would you please talk to us about your understanding of healthy community development and local food systems?
I'm a big advocate for urban farming. I think that's one way of dealing with, food deserts that might exist within a community. It's not the silver bullet solution. It's just another approach. And obviously here in Corpus Christi, you already have agriculture already here, which is amazing. But there are ways to sort of leverage that in terms of other types of urban farming that can provide nutritious foods to maybe some communities that are lacking in that regard.
So we're going to switch gears a little bit and kind of dive into some questions about infrastructure. Would you please explain to us some of your experience with aging infrastructure?
Again, any city that became a city 1840, 1850, 1860, you're gonna have a lot of old pipes in the ground. There's just no way around it. You gotta replace the pipes, you gotta put down new pipe. So the key is in Corpus Christi, obviously I've always been aware of Corpus Christi, but in doing my research for this trip, I saw where Corpus Christi is 400 plus square miles. And I said, that's not possible. I mean, that's a state. And then I looked again, I said, 2/3 of that 400 square miles, that's water. So water is a part and a fabric of the life of Corpus Christi. Obviously, it's a coastal community. So in essence, you have to, in this case, you have to respect water, you have to embrace it, and you have to kind of make it a partner, so to speak, because it's here, and it's very, very powerful. So again, from a water infrastructure perspective, you know, my focus will be on two different levels. One level is obviously you're a coastal community, and so there's always a threat of, adverse wet weather events, tropical storms, hurricanes, etc. We need to be sure and make certain that we're always ready and prepared. Pre-event, that we're doing all the things that we need to do during the event, as well as post-event, not, particularly as it relates to the human impacts, as well as the financial impacts. So that's one side of living here in Corpus Christi. It's just a fact of life, but it's a fact of life, so therefore we have to embrace it and become very good at dealing with it. The other side of it is just the infrastructure in general. Your water, your wastewater infrastructure. I know that there have been some issues in the past. Don't have a lot of details on it, but the key is making certain that as city manager, I can always assure you that you've got the most competent and capable staff that's on top of the day-to-day management of these operations. That we're bringing to bear the competency and the level of professionalism and commitment to making certain that we're running top of the line, peak performing, high performing water, wastewater utilities. For a variety of reasons. Number one, it mitigates risk. Risk is having to shut water down or something else. It mitigates. It helps us to make you feel better, hopefully, when you get your utility bill at the end of the month, whatever the number might be, to know that we're operating the organization in such a way that we're keeping that thing down as low as possible. But we're still doing what we need to do to advance the system. And that we're able to support the desired and intended growth and development that the city wants to accomplish at the same time.
Another area, expanding on that answer, development services is sometimes cited as a challenging point in our community, a place where sometimes people have trouble getting projects permitted and things along those lines. Can you please explain your approach to the development services and customer service process?
Again, the development process is cyclical, and it's important for us to understand that. Development cycles come in windows, so you need to be able to recognize the beginning of the window so that you can optimize it from a financial, economic standpoint for the city. But if you can't get a permit out in a timely way, you're gonna miss the window. Developers or people who want to invest money in the city are not going to spend the money because they're not going to know that they can rely or depend on the local government to help them to get through their process. It's a universal national challenge. Every city in America is challenged with the whole permits and inspections process. It's not unique to one city over another. I think we figured it out in Cincinnati. When I got to Cincinnati, it was taking the city development services operation, 12 weeks issue a building permit. It's too long. So the mayor and the council asked me to look into it, to figure out a solution to it, using something that I'm big on, which is performance management and data analytics. We were able to take that 12-week cycle, and today the city on average is issuing a permit in less than 10 days. We used Lean Six Sigma techniques, we used a stat process. Well, we did that with involving everyone involved in the process, from the lowest person on the totem pole to the director of multiple departments. It's making the secret to permits and inspections is making 15 to 20 different government operations work seamlessly together. Fire department, health department, transportation, water, wastewater, the law department. All of these entities touch the development cycle. Okay, so you've got to figure out a way to create an environment in which they can seamlessly work together in the same location, and have expectations and accountabilities, but give them what they need at the same time to be able to do the work. You know, give them the technology that they need, give them the physical environment that they need, because buildings and inspections and permits and development process is significantly relying upon collaboration of multiple disciplines. So you put them together, give them what they need, and you hold them accountable. And that's what we did in Cincinnati. It works. It's what you have to do.
So we have 2 questions from the audience, new questions. I'll go with the first one. What do you believe are our city's financial challenges, and what recommendations did you have for approaching them and solving?
Well, again, you know, there's no endless supply of money for any city. That's realization number one. The key is to make certain that we understand the financial resources that we actually have and optimize by being innovative in how we organize our finances, how we structure them, how we use them. Obviously, there's something going on in Austin State Legislature right now, from my understanding, where there's an attempt to cap property tax rates. So that would have an impact. But there's going to always be a threat like that coming from some source. So the key is organizing the government in a way and making sure that we have the right talent, we have the right processes, so that we can do what I like to say is outsmart the situation. You know, just because they make a change in Austin, we have to comply with that change, but they don't tell us how to do that, which is what we want, because we can figure that out ourselves by what we know about ourselves from a financial management standpoint.
And this question's kind of deep. It asks to describe your most valued achievement.
Personal or professional? Instead of would like that.
Yeah. Professional.
Okay, that's easy. I can do that. Obviously, my family is the most important thing today. There's so many. I'm a lifelong student in public administration. You know, I'm always looking to create, to invent solutions. When people say that something can't be done, it motivates me to be able to try to show how it can be done. So in Cincinnati, I was able to implement a comprehensive performance management and data analytics program. Very proud of that because it was a way to galvanize all of city government. It was something that everybody could take pride in and participate in because we were personally, professionally satisfied with what it allowed us to do in terms of doing our jobs. We could actually come through for the customer. We could actually make things happen and achieve things that we otherwise would not have been able to achieve. I know that you got a street and road challenge here in Corpus Christi in terms of the neighborhood levels. The same issue existed in Cincinnati when I got there. The mayor and the council asked me to take a look at it to figure out what we might be able to do. And so we came up with a program, a capital acceleration program. When I got to Cincinnati, they were repaving maybe 80 lane miles of road a year. They were doing 0 lane miles of preventative maintenance. That's not good. The PCI, or the pavement condition index, was 64. In some places, they take that as being good, but it's not good. We ultimately got it up to 71. And we did that by outsmarting the situation. Got to Cincinnati, looked at the city's debt profile, saw that within a 4 to 5 year window, the city's debt burden was going to drop off really heavily, which is a good thing. So what that told me was that we just needed a 4 to 5 year bridge to get us to that 4 or 5 year period, and we would free up significant debt capacity as well as debt affordability. So we implemented a short-term borrowing facility, which is basically a fancy line of credit. The interest charges on something like that are so low. It's like maybe 0.2 or 0.3% of interest charges. It's nothing. So what we did is we took out a $150 million line and we overlaid that to our existing CIP. We did not reprogram anything. We didn't take anything from anybody. When we programmed the CIP, we overlaid this other layer to allow us to repay and do preventative maintenance on additional lane miles. When I got there, the city's fleet of vehicles was at an average age, chief, of 12 years. I had police officers driving around in clunkers, Ford Cruisers, my dump trucks that we relied on to remove snow. The driver's side, you could see the road through the floorboard. Okay, so with this program, we were able to totally turn over the fleet. I got new police cruisers, new fire trucks, new utility vehicles, and we were able to go from 80 lane miles of repaving a year to 160 lane miles repaved, and we went from 0 lane miles of preventative maintenance to 250. We did all of that within our means by just thinking through how can we help ourselves while we waited for some relief to come in 5 years. So I would do the same thing here. The same mentality, the same approach.
That's great, that's great. That is a large issue for our community, and it's great to know that you have a lot of experience in that area.
Sure.
I was told we have time for one more question, so I'm going to take one that came in a little bit earlier. There is a current proposal under consideration for the redevelopment of a part of our community that has some low elevation and some drainage issues. This is North Beach. It's one of our original kind of city center tourist areas. Are you familiar with that proposal, or do you have any thoughts on
It
it?
feels like I've heard about that several times over the past 3 days. Could you restate that question?
Can you share any thoughts you have on that process or that prospect of redevelopment of North Beach?
I think that, again, my hope is that the city would develop a comprehensive economic development vision and strategy that would incorporate what it needs to incorporate. And then we can develop the plans and the tactics and the strategies to make it all happen. Not only in terms of executing it, but figuring out how to pay for it as well. And so something like that would fall into that category. I don't know if that was the correct answer or not, but that's my best effort tonight.
Okay, great. And then we'll end with, what were your impressions of Corpus Christi whenever you arrived?
I think Corpus Christi is a great city. It's got a lot of charm, tremendous potential in terms of development. But what stands out to me with any community is I focus on the people first. You know, what do I see in terms of my encounter with the people? And what I sense with the people that I've come in contact with here is that there's a tremendous amount of civic pride. There is a significant commitment to the city, and that equates to people power. You know, we'll never have enough money, but we'll spend the money that we have in the right way, in a smart way. But you can't beat what I call people power. And my sense is that there's a lot of people power in Corpus Christi, which is very encouraging, because if you got that, there's not much that you can't do that you might want to do.